What happened to these stars? Once rich and famous, now locked up and forgotten. From red carpets to prison cells, these 15 celebrities are still rotting in jail as of 2025. The reasons shocking, dark, and disturbing. You won't believe who's still behind bars. Without change this intro add my channel name, X Hollywood Mistakes, Thoda S.A. Bodicaro, without any change. Welcome to X Hollywood Mistakes, where fame fades, truth surfaces, and the real stories begin. 1. Amy Lone. Once celebrated for her stunning role in Melrose Place, Amy Lone was the kind of actress who carried both elegance and innocence on screen. But one reckless night changed everything. Under the influence, Amy crashed her car, a collision that claimed one woman's life and left another severely injured. The courtroom saw not a celebrity, but a broken woman, trembling, tearful, unable to take back what she'd done. The judge's voice echoed through the courtroom, 8 years in prison. In that moment, Amy Lone's fame died, replaced by guilt, regret, and the suffocating silence of a prison cell. A single night that erased an entire lifetime of success. 2. Michael Jace. He was loved as the calm, dependable cop on The Shield. But Michael Jace's real life was a tragedy hidden behind a perfect act. In 2014, at his own home in Los Angeles, Jace committed a horrifying act. He shot his wife, April, in front of their 2 young children. The same man who once played a man of law became the one breaking it. During trial, his son's testimonies broke hearts across the world. Convicted of second-degree murder, Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life. Now the sound of steel doors replaces applause. A life once filled with lights, now trapped in the endless dark. 3. Skylar DeLeon. Skylar DeLeon wanted fame, and he was willing to do anything to get it. Once a small-time actor who appeared briefly in Power Rangers, his hunger for wealth turned monstrous. In 2004, he and his accomplices targeted Tom and Jackie Hawks, a retired couple selling their yacht. DeLeon lured them on board, pretending to buy it, then forced them to sign over ownership before throwing them into the ocean, alive and bound. It was one of the most chilling crimes in Hollywood history, cold, calculated, inhuman. For that brutality, Skylar DeLeon received a life sentence without parole. No movie role could ever compare to the horror he scripted for himself. 4. Danny Masterson. The world knew him as Hyde, the funny, laid-back guy from that 70s show. But Danny Masterson's off-screen life was filled with secrets that would one day destroy him. Years after fame had made him untouchable, several women came forward, accusing him of horrific sexual assaults. The court case became a lightning bolt across Hollywood, and when the verdict came, the laughter stopped forever. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. From a beloved sitcom star to a convicted predator, his fall was absolute. His story stands as proof that no one, not even the most adored, is beyond the reach of justice. 5. Ryan Grantham. He had a face made for youthful, innocent roles, appearing in Riverdale and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But behind that soft smile, a storm was brewing. In 2020, Ryan Grantham confessed to killing his own mother. The reason? The court could barely understand it, a mix of mental turmoil, guilt, and despair. The world watched in disbelief. A boy who once played the hero had become his own mother's killer. He was sentenced to life in prison with no parole for 14 years. Now, instead of scripts, Grantham faces silence, haunted by what he's done and what he could have been. 6. Suge Knight. A name synonymous with West Coast rap. Suge Knight, founder of Death Row Records, helped shape an entire generation of music legends: Tupac, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. But behind the music empire was a man addicted to power and violence. In 2015, during a dispute on a movie set, Knight ran over 2 men with his truck, killing one of them. Convicted of manslaughter, he was sentenced to 28 years in prison. The man who once ruled the rap world now paces a 6 by 8 foot cell, replaying a lifetime of choices that led him here. His empire? Gone. His freedom? Gone. All that remains is a legacy stained with blood and regret. 7. Elizabeth Holmes. She was once called the female Steve Jobs. Elizabeth Holmes built Theranos, a billion-dollar company that promised to change medicine forever. Investors poured in millions. Politicians praised her. The media worshipped her, but it was all built on a lie. The technology she claimed could diagnose diseases with a drop of blood never worked. It was one of the biggest frauds in Silicon Valley history. In 2022, Holmes was convicted of fraud and conspiracy. Today, she's serving time behind bars, a stark contrast to her old world of black turtlenecks and billion-dollar dreams. Her story isn't just about crime. It's about how ambition without ethics leads straight to destruction. 8. R. Kelly. For decades, R. Kelly ruled R&B. His songs topped charts. His voice defined an era. But behind the fame was a nightmare hidden in plain sight. Survivors came forward, revealing a pattern of abuse, manipulation, and control that spanned years. The truth shocked the world. R. Kelly had used his fame to exploit the innocent. In 2022, he was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. The king of R&B now sings to concrete walls and silence. His downfall remains one of the darkest chapters in music history, proof that power, when abused, destroys everything it touches. 9. Harvey Weinstein. Once the most powerful man in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein could create careers with a single call. He ruled red carpets, award shows, and the biggest movie studios in the world. But his power came from fear, and that fear hid years of abuse. When women finally spoke up, their voices sparked a movement that shook the world. #MeToo. Weinstein was convicted on multiple counts and sentenced to 39 years total across New York and Los Angeles. The man who produced Oscar winners now spends his life counting prison days. A legend turned lesson that no one, no matter how powerful, is above accountability. 10. Joe Exotic. The internet knew him as the Tiger King. Joe Exotic was wild, unpredictable, and obsessed with fame. But his rivalry with animal rights activist Carole Baskin turned deadly. In 2020, he was convicted for hiring a hitman to kill her and for animal abuse at his zoo. Now serving 21 years, Joe's flamboyant world of tigers and glitter has been replaced by concrete walls. Even behind bars, he remains defiant, still claiming he's innocent, still craving the spotlight. But fame built on cruelty never lasts. 11. Josh Duggar. Once a symbol of faith and family on 19 Kids and Counting, Josh Duggar's image was spotless until his secret surfaced. He was found guilty of possessing illegal content involving minors. Fans who once admired him were left horrified. Duggar received 12 years in federal prison, his public persona forever shattered. A man who preached virtue undone by his own hidden sins. Proof that even behind the image of purity, darkness can grow silently. 12. Darren Sharper. He was one of the NFL's greatest safeties, fast, smart, respected. But Darren Sharper's fame masked something unimaginable. Over several years, he used drugs to incapacitate and assault multiple women. When the truth came out, fans were stunned. He went from hero to predator overnight. Sentenced to 20 years, Sharper's story remains one of the most disgraceful in sports history. A warning that even legends can fall when they believe they're untouchable. 13. Tammy Sytch. The WWE Universe knew her as Sunny. Tammy Sytch was the first true diva, glamorous, bold, and adored worldwide. But her fame was shadowed by addiction and self-destruction. Years of arrests and rehab attempts ended in tragedy in 2022, when she caused a fatal car crash while driving under the influence, killing a 75-year-old man. The court sentenced her to 17 years in prison, followed by 8 years of probation. Her story, heartbreaking and raw, is a sobering reminder of what happens when fame meets recklessness. 14. Jared Fogle. He was the face of Subway, the man who inspired millions to get healthy. But Jared Fogle's private life told a horrifying story. Behind his friendly smile was a man addicted to illegal and unforgivable behavior. Convicted of crimes involving minors and possession of illicit materials, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The man who once symbolized discipline and success now represents betrayal and shame. Fame gave him trust, and he destroyed it forever. 15. Corey C. Murder Miller. He was a rap icon, brother of Master P, and part of hip-hop's golden age. But in 2002, C. Murder's life came crashing down after a 16-year-old fan was killed at a Louisiana nightclub. Despite his claims of innocence and campaigns demanding justice, the court upheld the verdict. He remains in prison, serving a life sentence. His music silenced, his freedom gone, his name forever tied to tragedy. For fans, he's a victim of injustice. For others, a man paying his price. Either way, he's a reminder that every choice echoes forever. They had fame, fortune, and followers. But fame doesn't erase guilt. It only hides it for a while. 15 stars. 15 stories. One truth. The higher you rise, the harder you fall. If you believe no one stands above justice, subscribe for more stories from the dark side of fame.